Hey everybody, this is Darren Sabedra again with the Bay Area News Group, Mercury News, East Bay Times, here with Joseph Dycus, Mike Lefkow as we get ready for week 6 of the high school football season. You guys doing well?
Doing fine.
Couldn't be better.
Hey, Lefty, Joseph took a trip out to Half Moon Bay last weekend, didn't call us, and had a little McDonald's in Half Moon Bay.
You went to McDonald's?
Okay, look.
Why?
In my defense, I just needed somewhere to work. I needed to be somewhere where I could, edit photos and stuff. And I was like, McDonald's, they got free Wi-Fi. There's room there. It's fine. So
I think you could have found free Wi-Fi on the harbor there.
We could have hooked him up.
I know. Well, I might be going out there again in a few weeks because there's a few spots that looked really cool for photos. So when I go out there, I'll let you know.
Yeah, it's a nice area, Half Moon Bay.
He took a nice picture of the sunset.
Mm-hmm. A very popular beach too.
It didn't quite reach the level of Jose's photo from Valley Christian on Saturday of the sunset and the players in shadows.
No, that was a phenomenal photo. But you know what? Did we expect anything less from Jose at this point?
Not at this point.
You don't have as much.
Let's just keep that between us. We don't want him getting too excited.
Of course.
Just show him the churro. He'll get excited then.
Right. Well, we're going to pick 16 more games this week. But before we get to the games, let's talk a little San Ramon Valley. Is it too early to start the hype for the big showdown in Danville in a couple of weeks when De La Salle pays a visit?
I don't think it's too early because, I doubted the computers last week when they said San Ramon Valley was going to win 49-17. I was like, okay, hold on, Cal Preps. You might be a little jumping the gun there.
Yes.
We're Liberty. Well, it turns out maybe they weren't enthusiastic enough because San Ramon Valley led 42-6 at the end of the first quarter. And
that looked like a typo. Maddie Kenny.
When she tweeted it out, I thought she had made a mistake. I thought it was a halftime score. I was trying to figure out how do you score 42 points in one quarter
in a high school game.
12 minutes.
Luke Baker played one half and threw for 5 touchdowns and ran for another, and well over 300 yards passing. He was our player of the year last season, and he's probably better this season.
Yeah. Somehow.
So Mike Lefkow, too early to start hyping that game up, even though both teams have one more game before then. De La Salle has McClymonds this week at home and then off next week. And San Ramon is off this week and then opens up EBAL Mountain Division play next week against Clayton Valley on the road.
The Clayton Valley game would scare me a little bit if we start hyping it now. I think right now, yes, I would pick San Ramon to beat Clayton Valley, but the fact is Clayton Valley is a pretty tough opponent, and I'd be a little reluctant to start hyping that De La Salle game before San Ramon Valley plays Clayton Valley.
That said, you've been on the you haven't come out and exactly said that San Ramon would beat De La Salle, but you said it's possible. You said that a few weeks ago. So
yeah, I said that was possible a few weeks ago, and I still think that it is possible. But I also think that De La Salle is much improved. They've impressed me the last 3 weeks. I like what they're doing on defense. I like the idea that I think it's Justin Allenbaugh and Terry Edson who are running that defense. And this strikes me, as much as some of our Twitter fans in Southern California complain, I do like the idea that De La Salle has probably gone back to their style of football, what they're comfortable with, and that is playing good defense, letting the offense is still decent, but playing good defense. And they've beaten 3 good opponents. I mean, they haven't gone past a bunch of cupcakes.
No, there's no joke beating a physical St. Francis team on the road, St. Mary's Stockton at home, and then winning a physical battle against Folsom on the road on Friday. That's 3 quality wins.
And Darren, I wanted to ask you, Darren, when you were out there at Folsom, did it feel like De La Salle was dictating, I guess, the tempo of the game?
Yeah, De La Salle I felt De La Salle was in control most of the way. Folsom did move the ball a couple of times. In the fourth quarter, if Folsom had come back, I would have felt it was a shame that De La Salle had, either tied or lost. Well, they would have gone to overtime. My guess is that Folsom had driven 99 yards, knowing Paul Doherty. I think he would have gone for 2 and to win. Kind of like what Justin Allenbaugh did in the regional a couple of years ago against Folsom. And remember when he went for 2, Mike, and didn't get it, and they lost, I think, 28-27. So when Folsom got the ball back with half a quarter to go, great punt by Toa to put him back at the 1, and they would have had to have gone 99 yards. And De La Salle's defense came up with a stop and got an interception and ran out the clock. No, it was even though the final was 14-7, it was a complete victory by De La Salle. They were very physical. Controlled the ball, controlled the clock. Exactly what we talked about last week.
Mm-hmm.
How do you slow down a team that puts up a lot of points like Folsom? You keep the ball away from them. I mean, De La Salle ran hard, physical, and then they were physical on defense too. A lot of pressure on the quarterback, covered the receivers. Folsom didn't have much of a ground game. It was a complete victory by the Spartans.
And the scary thing is you've got to think at some point their passing game is going to start clicking. Maybe not going to throw for 200 yards, but
I'm not going to go there. I think if it's not broken, don't fix it. I think, they may sneak in a pass here and there, but their identity is hard-nosed running and physical defense. And in high school football, that's a tried and true formula, right, Mike?
Yeah, it is. And I think this De La Salle team is, we've talked about how many games they've lost in the last 2 or 3 years, but this De La Salle team has shown me something the past 3 weeks. I mean, I think this De La Salle team is good, is very good. Now, that's not taking anything away from San Ramon Valley, but the fact of the matter is this De La Salle team is playing a little better now than I think it has in the past 2 or 3 years. Maybe the scores aren't super impressive, a 14-7 victory. Okay, that's not the same as beating somebody 41-7, but still, I think De La Salle they've shown me something against St. Francis, St. Mary's, and Folsom last week.
No doubt about it. One team that has shown us quite a bit all season is Serra, and they're going to be at home on Saturday afternoon. The WCAL going into week 2 of league play. It's really going to heat up this weekend with St. Francis paying a visit to San Mateo, and Valley Christian with its defense now coordinated by Eric Scherenberg, who has been a defensive coordinator on and off there for a number of years, and he's back this season. That defense has been lights out. They're going to be traveling up to San Francisco for an afternoon game against Riordan, which obviously has been putting up a lot of points in its wins. One loss, though, they only scored 14. Is that right, Joseph?
Yes.
In their loss to
St. Bonaventure.
Yes. So WCL play will heat up this weekend. Mike Lefkow, what were your impressions after Serra hammered Sacred Heart last week and St. Francis took care of business against Mitty?
Well, I mean, I was not surprised by the score that Serra beat Sacred Heart Cathedral.
Yeah.
I think I put in there that Serra's won 16 straight games against them, and none of them have been closer than 18 points. So this is, for Serra, it's the annual feast. But St. Francis is they're playing well. I think I had St. Francis probably a little bit underrated at the start of the season. I really like Valley Christian. I'm not sure yet what to make of Riordan. I think their quarterback, Mitchell, has tremendous potential, but he's still only a sophomore. And I think
they have a freshman running back scored 5 TDs last week.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, that's pretty impressive in a WCL game against a quality opponent like St. Ignatius.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
But I agree with you. I mean, Valley Christian, we talked about tried and true. Their system, when it's working, they've been one of the upper echelon teams in the WCAL for 2 decades, doing exactly what they're doing right now. Is they also play very physical defense and hard-nosed running. they're obviously going to want to keep the score low.
Yes.
Against Riordan, and Riordan's obviously going to want to try to get out to a lead and put Valley Christian in passing situations, which will not bode well for Valley. So we'll obviously be keeping an eye on that. I still think, Serra is in a class by itself in the league at this point, and until further notice.
Yeah.
Obviously. California, Mike Lefkow. Narrow loss to Pittsburg 2 weeks ago. Probably should have won that game, and then handled Milpitas with a kid blocking not one, not two, but 3 punts is what I heard.
Yep, 3 block punts.
That's unheard of.
Yeah.
That was very unusual. California is a really good team, and their quarterback, Jaden Macedo, is a good player, very good player. I like that running back, Devin Love. And, Danny Calcagno is a terrific coach. You can look back at his resume when he was at San Leandro, when he was at Chabot. Now he's at California. This shouldn't be considered a real shock. He is one of the better coaches in the Bay Area. And, that's one thing the EBAL has. You got
a scary league.
Huh?
That's a scary division.
Yeah,
and
it is.
Even the teams in the lower division. We're going to discuss this here in a second before we get to our picks. California's going to be hosting Granada on Friday night. Joseph will be there.
I will.
Quinn Boyd, who's putting up video game numbers, the quarterback for Granada.
Yeah, 16 touchdowns to 1 interception all year. That's and they've got 3 receivers who all have, I think, around 300 yards and 3 or 4 touchdowns. So it's not like he's got one guy he's focusing on.
Right.
Well, that's the thing when you talk about video numbers. Granada has a really good group of receivers, and they use them well. Christian Klauser, I think he's only about 5'7", 5'8", but he's a great route runner, good receiver. And then who's the junior, the 6'3" junior they have, who's I think he's leaning toward baseball in the long run, but another really talented receiver. And then they've got
Mikey Boyd.
Mikey Boyd. Yeah, this is
his little brother.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. This is a team that's got a lot of talent. People talked about it last year. They said that young group of players coming up at Granada was going to be really good, and they are.
But they got a big test on Friday night.
Yeah, they do have a big test on Friday night, and again, who knows if they pass it. But I think Granada's got to be looked at as a serious team down the road, and maybe this year. What are they? Division II in the NCS?
I haven't looked closely. They're not Division I, so probably
they're not Division I. But yeah, this is a very good football team.
And they're going to play Amador Valley probably for the league championship, right? In the lower division of the EBAL.
I would have to think so.
I would think that's what the league will. Although Dublin's been pretty decent this year.
Yeah, but didn't Dublin get handled pretty good by Windsor?
Windsor a couple weeks ago.
That was a huge test for Dublin.
All right, we're about ready to get to the picks. Last week, not to pat myself on the back, but I went 13-3. Mike Lefkow 11-5. Joseph 10-6. That puts the season standings at 54-25 for me, 48-31 for Mike Lefkow, and 43-36 for Joseph. Joseph, you're now 11 games back, 5 weeks into the season.
I don't focus on that. I focus on the fact that I went from 7-9 week before to now I went over 500. I would make the playoffs.
Small gains.
We're looking to be 12-4 maybe this week. Just continually improve.
Mike, we've been doing this a number of years. Did you win three in a row at one point, or 2 in a row?
I thought it was 2 in a row, but I could be
2 in a row, because I've won 2 in a row. I'm going for the 3-peat. You got to try to chase me down. We picked 16 more games. Joseph, you picked the games that we're going to call this week.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start off with games on Friday night. Bay Valley Athletic League opener, Antioch at 4-1, traveling to Heritage, 2-3. They're going to be playing there in Brentwood. I got Antioch winning this game. The computer at Cal Prep says Antioch winning. Closer than I thought, 31-27. But Joseph, who you got?
I'll take Antioch, although I do think Heritage, they probably should be 3-2. They blew a 2-touchdown lead last week in the fourth quarter. So
against James Logan, right?
Against James Logan. James Logan finally got their first win of the year. Mike
Lefkow, who you got in this game?
Yep, I'm going to go with the Panthers. I think they've got a pretty solid team this year.
Game 2 on the list, Miramani traveling to College Park. This is a DAL Foothill Division game. Miramani at 4-0, College Park at 2-2. I've got Miramani winning. Computer has Miramani winning 34-14. Mike Lefkow, who you got?
Yeah, I think Miramani is a little bit too strong for College Park.
Joseph?
I will agree as well.
All right. Here's the one we were talking about a little earlier. Granada at 4-1, traveling to California at 3-2. California has looked very, very strong in the first 5 weeks of the season, and Granada has been very explosive in the first 5 weeks of the season. I'll let you go first, Mike Lefkow. Who you got?
I'm going to take California to win this game. I have a tendency to think it'll be fairly close, but I could also see the same thing happening to Granada that happened to Liberty. I mean, maybe these teams are just not quite mature enough yet, and they get off to a bad start. But I'm gonna go with California.
I've got California too, winning at home. Joseph, who you got?
I hate to agree. I'll take California too. Although I think it'll be closer than what Cal Preps is.
Cal Preps has it as a 23-point spread, 42 to 19 for California. But if it snowballs early, I could see it being like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't know. I mean, Granada's a good team. I think Liberty's a good team. But yeah, sometimes it does tend to snowball.
Game 4 on the list. We've got Wilcox at home. This is a PAL Bay Division opener. Wilcox was in Bakersfield last week to lose. They lost to Edison of Huntington Beach 21-7. They're gonna be at home to face Mountain View, which has been had last week off. It's been an emotional season for Mountain View, but a good season on the field. 3-1. Their only loss was to Live Oak in a close game, right? Wasn't it close?
Right, very close.
The week after the tragic events out there. So Mountain View has played Wilcox quite a bit. Wilcox has had the upper hand. I see Wilcox winning this game. I think it's gonna be fairly close though. Mike Lefkow, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Wilcox. They'll be at home. They won't get to the stadium late like they did last week.
When they got the bus, how does the bus driver get lost in Bakersfield?
You know, I have no idea.
How do you get lost with GPS? Like, we all have phones now. We can just type in the address.
Again, I don't know. Rosa just said it. They got lost on the way and showed up late.
Joseph, who you got?
You know what? I'll take the upset in this one. I think Mountain View. They'll find a way to pull it out.
All right. Game 5, Aragon at San Mateo. This is a PAL Ocean Division game. Aragon 12-2 over San Mateo in the Max Preps era. I got Aragon winning this one. Mike Lefkow, who you got?
I've got Aragon.
Joseph?
Same, Aragon.
All right. Computer has Aragon winning 31-14. The computer also has Wilcox winning 26-12. Game 6 on the list, Milpitas coming off that drubbing last week at California. They're 3-1, taking on Sequoia at 1-3. Sequoia, I think, had last week off after losing the heartbreaker to Woodside 2 weeks ago. So the PAL Ocean Division game. The computer says it's going to be close. It's taking Milpitas 19-17. I'm going to say close, but I'm going to go with the home team. I'm taking Sequoia. Joseph, who you got?
I think Milpitas will rebound, and they'll win that close game.
Mike Lefkow.
I'm going to go with Milpitas, but I think it'll depend on Milpitas' state of mind.
They won't be 3 block punts, right?
Probably not, but I also think that it'll depend on Milpitas' state of mind after last week. Can they rebound, or will there be a hangover from what happened last week?
Part of me is like Milpitas probably knew it was was in for a tough one last week and maybe kept it. I wasn't at the game. Maybe they kept it vanilla, getting ready for league, and we'll see. But I think it's gonna be close. Like I said, I'm taking the home team whenever I think it's gonna be close. And Joseph, you got Joseph and Lefty have Milpitas winning, and the computer. So 3-1 against me. Wow. Woodside taking on Santa Clara, PAL El Camino division opener. Woodside at 3-1, Santa Clara at 1-3. I got Woodside winning. The computer has Woodside winning big, 58-22. Joseph, who you got?
Woodside.
And Lefty?
Yep, I agree. Woodside.
All right. We're almost halfway done. We got Gunn traveling to South San Francisco, PAL Lake Division game. Looking at what the computer has. I'm not sure why this game's on our list, Joseph, but it is. I got South San Francisco winning big at home. Joseph, who you got?
I picked it because I'm going to pick Gunn to win.
Yes. All right. Mike Lefkow, who you got?
I just think South San Francisco has too many good players for Gunn. This is going to be an easy win for South San Francisco.
And the computer has South San Francisco winning 46-0. Bellarmine at SI, Bellarmine at 1-3. Their only win was the opener, a narrow win over Menlo Atherton. Since then, the Bells have lost to McClymonds, Monte Vista, and Valley Christian. Taking on SI. SI will be trying to bounce back from a tough loss last week against Riordan, 41-34. I got SI winning at home under the lights. The computer has SI winning by 28, 42-14. Mike Lefkow, who you got?
Yep, I got SI beating Bellarmine.
And Joseph?
I've got SI beating Bellarmine as well.
All right. Rivalry game here down in the South Bay. Branham at 3-1 taking on Lee 2-2. Lee is 13-5 against Branham in the Max Preps era, which goes back to 2004. Branham has won 3 of the last 5 in the series. Branham coming off a loss to Live Oak last week. I got Lee winning this one at home. Joseph, who you got?
I will take Lee as well, although I flip back and forth on this one.
Lefty?
I think Branham pulls this one off.
All right. And the computer says Lee will win a close one, 35-27. 5 more games to go. Actually, 6 more games to go. My bad. 6 more games to go, starting with Jesuit at Clayton Valley. Jesuit 4-1. Pretty impressive resume by Jesuit. Their only loss was to SI, I believe, by 1 point. Taking on 2-2 Clayton Valley. Clayton Valley's last game before EBAL play starts next week. Joseph, who you got?
I'll take Clayton Valley, although I probably would flip it if Jesuit was one playing at home, but Clayton Valley is going to be in Concord, so I'll take the Ugly Eagles. Mike
Lefkow.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is when you pick the home team, so I'm going to go with Clayton Valley.
I've got Jesuit winning this one. They lost to Clayton Valley last year in Carmichael, Sacramento area, and I've got Jesuit bouncing back in this one, and the computer says Jesuit will win 26-14. McClymonds De La Salle. I think this will be a physical first quarter and a half. I think De La Salle will eventually wear down McClymonds. I could see this being something like 28-0, 28-7, somewhere around there, maybe 35. I'm taking De La Salle. Joseph, who you got?
Yeah, I'm taking De La Salle too. I think it'll be, like you said, 24-10, 24-7, something like that.
Mike Lefkow?
Yep, I'm going to go with the Spartans. I think it could be somewhat similar to the San Ramon Valley game.
Computer has De La Salle winning 21-7. So think De La Salle might get a few more points than that, but not much more. This one was a tough one to pick. Pittsburg at 4-0, traveling to the South Bay to play Los Gatos at 3-1. Los Gatos' only loss was to Grant of Sacramento by a point. Pittsburg has narrowly won its last 2 games, beating California and also Monterey Trail Elk Grove. I went back and forth on this, but I am going to go with Pittsburgh. And this is the Butch Catalico Bowl. Remember Butch?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Longtime coach at Los Gatos. Well, he's a Pittsburgh High graduate.
Yep.
So,
and isn't his son is up at Granite Bay, isn't he?
Yeah, somewhere in this. He's bounced around in the Sacramento area, but he's somewhere out there, and I think Butch is out there helping him. So, I got Pittsburgh winning. Joseph, who you got?
Look, I think Los Gatos pulls it out. They're at home. They have a great offense. Why not?
Okay. Mike Lefkow.
Now I'm going to go with Pitt, and I kind of applied the game against Grant. Grant coming all the way down at the last minute and still able to pull it out. So I'm going to go with Pitt, saying it somewhat similar.
Both teams have had 2 weeks to prepare, so they should be fresh, and both teams should be well scouted. The computer has Pittsburgh winning 31-21. 3 more games left. Oakland High 4-0 at Atascadero 5-0. I went and looked at Atascadero's season logs. Probably the only team in the state to have beaten my high school and my wife's high school in the same season. First 5 weeks of the season, they've beaten both of our teams. That being said, I'm taking Atascadero to take down Oakland, hand Oakland its first loss. Atascadero's 5-0. I think they're going to go to 6-0 to drop Oakland to 4-1. Joseph, who you got?
I think the magic run continues. I think Oakland's going to win. Did I look at Cal Prep's computer? No. And I'm sure that if I did, it probably would tell me something different. But I think the Wildcats go to 5-0.
You're thinking that they're riding that basketball wave.
They are riding that basketball wave.
They're riding the basketball wave. Mike Lefkow, who you got?
I'm going with the Atascadero. I think they're actually a pretty good team.
Right. And the computer says Atascadero 38, Oakland 3. So
you're taking a 5-touchdown underdog.
I am.
Well, it's not as bad as taking a 46-point underdog in the Guns South San Francisco game.
Oh, that's true.
2 more games left, both on Saturday. We'll start with number 1 Serra at home. I'm going to be there against St. Francis at 2-2. St. Francis showed me something in that De La Salle game. They were very physical, and the way Kingston ran the ball was very impressive. It was close into the fourth quarter. De La Salle put it away in the final period. I think Serra will win. I think they have I don't know if it's going to be as bad as the computer says. Computer has Serra winning 42-7. You never know with Serra, though. They get on a roll on their home field, and teams get discouraged, and it can snowball. But I think St. Francis is pretty physical and will keep it closer than that. But I have Serra winning. Mike Lefkow, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Serra over St. Francis, but I don't think it's going to be 42-7. I think Serra might win by 2 touchdowns, but it's not going to be running.
I'm going to say 3. The computer says 5. I see like 28-7.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Sarah's gonna win. I could see it being like 35-14, but the actual game being closer than that, and then they pull away towards the end.
Right. The last game on the list, Valley Christian, 4-0 after winning 1 game last year, going to Riordan at 3-1. Riordan is won 3 games last year, can top last year's season total in their 5th game. This also was a tough one, but what do they say? Defense wins championships.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they say? I took Valley. I've been picking Riordan quite a bit. but I think Valley wins a narrow game. I think Valley's going to want to keep it low scoring. I see it being something like 17-14, somewhere in there. Yeah. But I'll let you go next, Joseph. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think Valley is going to do what St. Bonaventure did to Riordan and what De La Salle has done to their last few opponents, and just run the ball, keep the ball out of Riordan's hands. I think it'll be higher scoring than that. I think it'll be 28-24, something like that, though.
Who do you have winning?
Valley Christian.
Wow. Okay. Mike Lefkow, your thoughts on this game?
I think it comes down to, excuse me, I think it comes down to how well Mitchell plays and how well that freshman running back play. And if I'm Valley, I try to be as intimidating as I can on defense, because those are young players and you can rattle young players.
They got Chris Lawson too on offense.
Yes, they do. And they've got a great receiving core. There's no question. But I think Riordan is at home, and I'm going to go with Riordan to win this game. I think it's going to be super close. Anything can happen. I'm not sure this is, if you ask me to pick again in another hour, I might pick that to win that game. But I think right now I send it in as Riordan over Valley, and that's what I'm going to stay with.
And the computer has Riordan winning 34-22.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that one.
Valley's giving up an average of about 8 points a game, and Riordan is scoring they're scoring in the 30s, even though they were held to 14 against St. Bonaventure. So that'll be a game that will I think we know what we know about these teams.
Yeah.
At least, I think Valley's much improved. Riordan obviously is much improved. Do they have what it takes to beat Serra? Probably not, but there's always next year.
There is.
When Serra doesn't have all of the this core that it has right now. So
yeah, that's the thing. Sarah's got a terrific core.
Serra's and this core is played in major games. I mean, huge games. So, anything else to add before we wrap this up?
I would like to give a shout out to Alex Simon. He left us. He left for another publication.
Alex,
Tip of the hat. He did a lot of stuff behind the scenes for the press beat, especially on Friday nights that you guys couldn't see. So just want to wish him well at his next stop and thank him for all his help here.
Definitely. Thank you, Alex. Good luck at your next stop, which we'll name it here. He's now the sports editor at SF Gate. He announced that on Sunday. So good for Alex. Not so good for us. He's going to, be missed on the prep beat. I'm actually going to be hanging out with Mike Lefkow in-house on Friday night. Glenn Reeves will be at the Pittsburg Los Gatos game. So we'll be trying to get control of the roundup and the scoreboard on Friday evening. So if we reach out to you, please get back to us with your game details so we can write that up before we go to bed on Friday, because on Saturday I'm going to be making the trip out to San Mateo for Serra St. Francis. So
yes.
Mike Lefkow, you have any closing thoughts?
No, thanks to Alex. Good luck at SF Gate. I've got some closing thoughts, but none that I would go ahead with here.
You want to save it till next week?
I'm not sure when I want to save it for. I've been doing some research on the Division I situation in NCS and had a fairly long exchange of texts yesterday with one of the coaches in Division I, and was looking at Sac Joaquin section and how they do it. So I kind of want to put together my thoughts and then maybe get into discussion about that.
We will definitely do that. I thought you were going to get on Joseph again for not calling you and settling for McDonald's in Half Moon Bay.
Well, you know, again, I mean, you can go down to the harbor and there's, I mean, much better restaurants than McDonald's, but
yeah, I told him that.
I mean, you've got to try Catch Joanne's. I mean,
it's great.
Okay, by the way, I will say this too.
Better clam chowder than they have in Tennessee, Joseph.
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
I will say this. I'm not joking. I drove, when I was driving back up Highway 1,
Yes.
I see a Taco Bell that looks unlike any Taco Bell I have ever seen.
It's a Taco
before.
Bell cantina.
And I look up on the Taco Bell official website, tacobell.com, that apparently the Taco Bell that I drove past is the most beautiful Taco Bell you never knew existed.
And you didn't go?
I did not go because it was like 8 o'clock at night. I had eaten, McDonald's, so I wasn't hungry. But that might be my
beautiful
next stop.
Taco Bell, but how did the food taste? Is that
I didn't stop in there, but I should next time.
Well, you know, next time you're there, there's a lot of good restaurants in Half Moon Bay. I don't know that I would go to a fast food place. Of course, the fast food places probably aren't going to be too happy with us, but
they also have the Ritz-Carlton down the road.
Well, they do.
Yes.
Half Moon Bay is a nice town. I like that area.
Joseph, next time you decide to take a tour to a Bay Area hot spot or a Bay Area good spot, make sure to give us a call.
Will do.
We're going to wrap it up. Check us out, mercurynews.com, eastbaytimes.com. Sign up for that digital subscription. That's what keeps us going. And we're still smashing records here.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Until next week.